to understand, man, that it's not just going to be, happily ever forever after at that point. A lot of people think that when they start on their journey, whether it's health, whether it's their career, entrepreneurship, you think that once you have certain information and move toward that journey, that it's just smooth sailing, brothers. That's the absolute wrong mindset to have, man. So I'm giving you a heads up, brothers. You have to understand that your past is going to come see you. You think that a part of you that has been attached to you your whole life, the people in your old circle, the old circumstances, you think that world is just gone? Contraire, moon frere. That world is just circling back around, man. It's just getting momentum. It's just recalibrating to the new you, saying, let me come back around and see if he's about that life. Every single time, bro. But when the Bible says to seek ye first the kingdom, brother, I'm gonna tell you where a lot of people miss the bus on that. A lot of people think that, when it's referring to the kingdom, a lot of people think that, once I transition, once I leave this world, once I have a physical death, then I will be back in the midst of God. I will be in the kingdom, and I will have this ultimate peace and bliss. But what you have to understand, man, you have to understand that kingdom can be obtained now. Not only can be, has to be obtained first. That has to be man's first journey, is finding that kingdom. Because if not, brother, you will fall victim to this world, man. Find that state. Like when I say meditation, sleep, and death are all the same world. They're all the same world. It's just how deep you're submerged in it. The thing is, brother, you have to call that world your reality. You aren't praying. Your prayers cannot answer until you put boots on the ground, brother. Until you put boots on the ground. In other words, until you start the process of bridging the third dimension and the fifth dimension together, your prayers will not be answered, man. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Like everybody on the planet at this point has heard that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but a lot of people are still stuck in their minds, man. A lot of people still can't make that transition to walking in that I am, man. You know what I understood too? What I come to find over the last At ease, brothers. It's another great day to be alive, man. And it's good to see y'all already chime in. I see some of my brothers I haven't seen in a while. I see some of my brothers from the circle. I see some of my sisters that are chiming in. Good to see y'all. The reason I wanted to have this specific live today, and I'll be honest, it's been a long time coming. The reason I want to have this live is strictly because I think we have a lot to do within our culture. You know what I mean? As far as wealth building, as far as changing our mindsets, we have a lot of work to do. And when I say a lot of work, what I'm really saying is, like, a lot of us were I don't want to use the word damaged, but a lot of us were limited at some stage in our life growing up. Like I've always said this, there are a lot of us that grew up in the church that thought that living in poverty or living below the economic level was being blessed. I can remember when I was young, man, in church, when I saw the people driving the old cars and the people that were unhealthy, I said, these are the blessed people. I don't know what sermon started that. I don't know what verse in the Bible was taught to us, but a lot of us growing up thought that, that living in lack was being spiritual. And over time, brother, I learned that that's not the way the world works, man. Brothers, the brother I want to bring on today, man, I can easily say that the moment that I met this brother, started interacting with this brother, the one thing that drew me to him was his frequency, was his mindset, was the angle that he saw the world. That was the first thing that stood out, man. So today, when I bring this brother on, man, I want us to I want us to really reflect on, the words of brother Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich. He said it's not about what a man does. He said, but it's how he does it. So today, man, as I bring this brother on, man, I want us to really not focus on what he does and how he gets the bag, but his mentality, his mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's granting him the ability to achieve the levels of success that he's achieved, man. So without further ado, brothers, without further ado, sisters, please give me a warm at ease in the chat. Please give me a warm at ease wherever you're standing for this 8-figure e-com seller, for this Amazon and Facebook automation guru, for a modeling agency owner, for a U.S. Air Force veteran. I give to you my brother, Reco Roughneck Jefferson, brothers.
You can invest in a lot of different things. It's always best to reinvest in yourself, reinvest in your business. Until your business is capable of providing for you financially, paying for your bills, your way of life, you need to keep reinvesting in your business. Once your business is making enough money that gives you an excess where you can play around, buy supercars, whatever, now you start putting money into passive income. Buy real estate properties, buy automated e-commerce stores, buy another business that someone else manages. You want to make money in your sleep, because contrary to popular belief with these cats out here talking about, oh, I get money, you ain't getting money unless you're making money in your sleep.
Brother Reco Jefferson.
Man, yo, glad to
see you, man. First off, brother, let me give you my thanks. And I have to give you thanks on 3 levels, brothers. First, I want to say thank you for your service, man. U.S. Air Force veteran. I don't think a lot of people that have served this country, that haven't served this country, understand what it takes, man, to wake up and do the things that we did while serving, to sign up for the places we were willing to go, man. So first off, I want to say thank you for your service. Second, I want to say this, brother. I want to thank you for the information that you've shared with me over the course of the last few months, man. You've given me information that not only is going to change my life, that it's going to change the life of my lineage, man. It's going to change the life of my son's sons, my grandson's sons, man. So I want to thank you for that. And third, brother, I want to say thank you for, just being a high vibrational brother. Like I say this all the time, man, it feels good to fellowship with gods. And when I say gods, what I mean is it feels good to fellowship with brothers that have been able to tap into their mental space and tap into this third dimensional world and bridge that gap. And in other words, can take faith and activate works and live in that stream of abundance, man. So I just want to say, man, it's good to have you on the show. And I just want to say thank you, brother. Glad to have you, man.
Man, yo, you've been a mentor of mine for a long, long time, bro. So, yo, I appreciate it, man. You helped me out in so many ways. Like, yo, if y'all don't know, this man right here, everything he says is the truth. Like, there's no denying it. It is the truth. I 100% promise you, if you don't follow this, you're gonna have a very difficult time. Like, making millions is gonna be the last thing on your mind.
Man, I appreciate that, brother. Man, what I wanted to start with is, it's easy, and this is my mindset when I met you. It's easy for a person to meet you for the first time, whether it's just their first time seeing you, and the position you speak from, the words you use is just your mentality. One may think that you've been here your whole life. Like one may think, and I'll use for myself. I wasn't unsure. I said, man, he was probably raised in this type of environment. Like the way he speaks, the way he moves in this energy, he's always been here. So I want to start out, brother, by going back to, if you can share with us, if you had a bottom or like, what was your turning point where you say, you know what, like this is enough in life. I'm getting ready to turn my life around and do something completely different. What was that point like, bro?
Oh, bro, that was the most painful point. I was crying like a little baby. So, typical backstory. I mean, black male growing up, single mom household. You're told go to school, get a job, retire, die. Pretty much it, right? And at the time I was in the Air Force, and I had my son. So his mom left when I was just a baby. When he was just a baby, he was about 6 months old. She had some things going on. She got this newborn baby off of my doorstep and was like, "I'm out." So fast forward to he's about a year and a half at this point, maybe 2. And I'm sitting in a Walmart parking lot in Fort Walton Beach, crying because I had to figure out how to get, get food for him the next day for daycare, because it was Wednesday. the 13th. And you know we don't get paid until the 15th, which
Yeah,
was a
for real.
Friday. So at the time I had a Wachovia bank account before Wells Fargo bought them out. And so you don't get paid early like with USA and Navy Federal. They give you that check a little early. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. I'm crying. I had $3.67 and I needed to get a tank of gas and I had to figure out how to get this boy something to eat. And I'm sitting there like, yo, I'm making real life decisions with $3.67 fucking cents in my bank account. I'm like, yo, I got to do something, man. So what I did is I went into Walmart. I got him a Lunchable for the next day. It was like dollar 40 something at the time, $1.30 something. Super, super cheap. And if you guys didn't know, back in the day when you went to a gas station, they wouldn't check to see how much money you had in your account. They would just debit you $1. As long as you had $1 in there, you could overdraft your account.
Yeah.
Bro, that was the most expensive tank of gas I ever got.
Yeah.
Because not only did I overdraft getting the gas, they hit me with the charge for the Lunchable. So they hit me with
Dang.
two $35 fees. So that was the most expensive tank of gas I got. But that was my low point. And I'm like, yo, I got to do something different. I got to get out of the military. I got to figure this out because, bro, I'm making $23,000 a year.
Yeah.
I'm still paying taxes. I got to pay for daycare. Like, bro, I am broke.
That's
Like,
wild, bro.
I'm
That's
hit
wild
right now.
That's wild, bro. Hey, brother Hennefit said, gentlemen, you are doing the Lord's work. What's up, brother Reco? Appreciate that super chat, brother Hennefit.
Yo, what's up, bro? Yo, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, I want to ask this, man. Like, and this is something I talked about in the intro. This is something I talked about, maybe on a few videos about limitations. Like, I think a lot of people, we grow up and whatever put that limitation on you, whether it was you seeing, your parent situation. I'm talking, financially, whether it was the church that put a cap on you. I think it's normal for like when a man or woman comes out of the nest and they, whether they're getting their degrees, whether they're getting their trade, I think it's pretty easy to get back to that ceiling that's been set. But I'm curious to know what it was that pushed you past that ceiling.
Yo, honestly, all right. So I started going to cars and coffees. I'm a big car guy. I have a car shop. I have a bunch of supercars. I got all types of stuff. And what I was noticing was the people at these supercar meets, man, at the cars and coffee, they weren't talking about money how we talk about money. When we talk about money back then, it's about like, oh man, like I don't have enough of it, or I got bills to pay, or I got X, Y, and Z, or whatever. I got all this stuff happening. I ain't got enough money for it. The abundant mindset that they had, it changed my life because these guys were talking about like, oh yeah, man, so I'm about to order this Lambo, or oh, I'm growing my business with this, or I made 1 million last year, I made 2 million, 3 million, whatever. I made $1 million in a month. I did all this stuff. Seeing these people talk about that and not even care about the way money was used, I was like, wait a second. So y'all don't struggle? I got to know more. I got to know more. Surprising fact, rich people tell you all their secrets as long as you can get them interested in telling you. So I would go and, obviously I'm a car guy again, love cars. So I would just get them talking about their cars. I'm like, oh man, like this one guy, the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, one of my favorite cars. The guy had one, or a Ronzio Borealis, which is in orange. It's like a pearl orange. I'm like, man, yo, that car is dope. This is so awesome, blah, 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 blah. Like, yo, so what'd you do to it? Oh, I did this and this. How'd you get it? What's your business like? And that right there, now they're like, oh, this guy's interested. Bro, these dudes was dropping all the tea. My mind, I literally couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to that train of thought because I'm like, these guys are rich as hell.
That makes a lot of sense. I hear you talk about this all the time. You always talk about your circle. You always talk about your network is your net worth. You say that a lot, man. But for those watching, let's say a brother, he isn't into cars or he doesn't have a supercar. What steps should a man take to put himself in position? Or when you say people that are well off will give you this advice if you can just get their interest. Like, how should a person move? Because I'll say this, it's rude to just walk up to somebody and just start asking for information. So how should people move to put themselves in these type circles?
Bro, go where they congregate. So for me, like, everyone goes and plays ball in the hood. They go to the gym in the hood, right? So if you live in the hood, you live in a low income area, you're really not going to meet a lot of rich people. The only rich people you're going to see are the ones coming in to check on their properties and leave, right? Or the property management company for the rich people. store owners, whatever. So I started going to the gym in rich neighborhoods. So I would go to the LA Fitness up in the rich area. And guess what? That's where rich people congregate. These old white rich people, they hang out, after work. It's like a social club. They go, they talk, they're like, oh yeah, brother, this and this, what's going on? If they see, if you're out there training, you got a decent physique or whatever, you're just trying to learn, bro, they're there to help you. You learn their names, you see them frequently, you talk to them like that. You got to build a rapport. You can't just run up on them and be like, yo, let's talk. So I was going a few times a week and I started seeing the same faces. And eventually, I was like, hey, how you doing, man? This and that. Oh, I'm Reco. What's your name? Oh, I'm Henry. Oh, Henry. Yeah, that's cool. So what do you do? Oh, I do this and this and this. Oh, bro, well, I'm a student at the time. I was a student at Penn State. Oh, bro, I was in the military. I'm going to Penn State now. Computer science, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shit, I did that and this and that. Oh, man. So that one of the easiest ways. You just got to remove yourself from your environment, which is very uncomfortable. Most people don't want to do it because, you're hanging with your boys, with the girls or whatever, and it's familiar. You have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation because it forces you to grow. If you stay comfortable, never grow.
I think that's huge, man, because a lot of us, like when we step outside the house, it's all about going to the club and going to the bar and and those things are good. That's good to kind of wind down, take your girl out, have a few drinks, whatever. But sometimes it takes us being uncomfortable. Like it takes us putting ourselves in I don't know if it's libraries or country clubs or just where other people of other mindsets are hanging out, man. So that's valuable information, man. What I want to know is, or another question I have is like when you transition, but because like you said, you went to Penn State, man, and when you came out, you were already successful in quote unquote corporate America. Yeah. But your life did some wild things, going from making maybe just a standard 6-figure fat salary to going to where you are now. What would you say the one to three like principles or deciding factors that you implement into your life to say, you know what, this is what took me from 100K to making millions?
Yeah. So I learned that you're not always going to make the right decisions. Nobody does. So instead of focusing on always making the right decisions, I make my decisions right. Okay. So I focus on the speed of making that decision. Like I don't sit there and think about it like most people. If I'm going to put my money into something, I'll look at the numbers, I'll kind of focus on it, and that's it. Like my real estate dude, I got a bunch of properties out here already. I got like 20 something odd doors. My man will bring me a deal. I don't even think about it. I'm like, yo, let's break these numbers down. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, let's get under contract. I don't waste time. If it's the wrong move, I'll make that decision right on back end. Like, oh snap, it's not going to cost 25K in rehab. It's going to cost 40K in rehab. So that means the rents have to be adjusted. That's how you make that decision right. Most people don't do that. They sit and they think about these decisions forever. So it's about making your decisions right, making quick decisions, and then making those decisions right if you make a wrong decision.
So speed is a factor.
Speed is a factor. Like the people that sit around all day is never going to work. Like if you got to think about it and think about it and think about it, you're never going to do it. Think about it, make it happen.
That make a lot of sense, because like when I'm always talking about, us kind of just setting goals and walking in your new I am, like when those ideas come, like a lot of people will just sit on them or procrastinate. So it makes sense that speed is one of those deciding factors, man. That's huge. So acting on these thoughts as they come, and if you make the wrong decision, I guess just learn from it and keep it moving. That's valuable, bro. Yeah. One thing I want to ask you too, man, is because I think like men that are purpose men, like a lot of men will achieve a level of success. Like when men come out of the nest, 20s, 30s, whatever, and they start they'll achieve some level of success. Like they may get a degree or they may, get some good job, but they'll tend to plateau. Like what keeps those that are highly successful from plateauing? And what I'm saying is, like, I recently saw you just received an award. Let me give you a shout out for that, for making 1 million in a month. But that's huge, because I can remember looking at some older videos when you're talking about achieving certain goals and making 1 million a month. And in December, you finally made it. I saw the video you getting the award. But at the same time, I've seen you talking about getting that number to way, way greater. What takes a man out of that winning success and being stagnant? What keeps you just driving for going for more and more and more?
Bro, so you're always going to get comfortable. Everybody will. Like, it don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how disciplined you are, how great you want to be. You will get comfortable. It's the people I surround myself with. Like you always say, power circle. You've been saying that for years. So I picked up on it. And I'm like, okay, I need a power circle. So all my friends, I surround myself with people that are winners. And so when one of them win, I want to win. Like my boy Adam Weitzman, Mr. Billionaire Adam Weitzman, one of my closest friends, one of the best mentors you could ever have. Bro, he wins big all the time. Every time I see him make a new investment or buy a new house or work on his jet, or he's hanging out with Larsa Pippen or Carmelo or Rich the Kid, whoever. Whenever he's winning, I'm like, yo, I need to do this. I am instantly motivated to go do more. My homeboys, like Tommy and all that, bro, they buy a new car. I'm clapping, but secretly I'm like, yo, how did my man get that? He can't outdo me. Like my boy Leo. Leo got like $6 or $7 million cars right now. I just got one. I'm like, you know what, Leo? Yo, I'm coming for you, baby, because ain't no way I'm gonna be the only dude out here with just $1 million car.
You know what, man? I just hearing you say that, man. I think, and this is a real. I think a lot of people fear desiring more. I really think, because this is the thing, man, and I'm really talking about people that are plugged into spirituality, that are plugged into knowledge. I think in the book, The Kabbalion refers to these people as half truthers. I think it's easy to get so caught up in spirituality sometimes that we forget we're playing the game. Like we forget life is about expansion. Life is about living in abundance. And again, I believe that old mindset comes and attacks a lot of people and keeps them from, I got a good job. Let me call it good. I got me a new car. Let me keep this same car for 30 years. Like that's how the spiritual is supposed to live. And I'm learning a lot of people are trapped by that, man. So it's good to hear you say, and I say good to hear you say it, knowing the type man you are, knowing that you're a man that lives in faith, that moves in a certain energy and can speak about expansion. It feels good to hear you say that. And I was just curious on, like, you passed that block, man. Like one of my things, I believe that, well, I know for a fact that a man's physical world, his outcome is going to be based on, where he sees himself going, his beliefs and his actions that come from that belief. That's what's going to create his world. So I'm curious to know what does Reco's daily life look like? Like, what is your daily regimen, or what disciplines do you put in place to keep this high vibration?
Bro, so a lot of people ain't gonna like it because work-life balance is a myth. Work-life balance is for people that don't want to make no money. So if you ever say, I need work-life balance, you don't want to make no money, go to work your 9 to 5, be happy with it. If you want to be great, there is no such thing. You have to be obsessed. So from the moment that I wake up, like I am up, I'm thinking about how can I make more money? I'm focused on my employees, on the contractors, on everyone in my team, sales team, everything. I'm like, yo, how do I make today be more productive? What do I need to do? I look at my calendar. Bro, this is before I even get out of bed. Boom. Morning, baby. What's up? Boom. Get the phone, check everything. All right, I need to do all this stuff. All right, let me get to it. Yo, my baby need to get on the bus. Okay, bye, baby. Do whatever I got to do. I'm here in the office. Typing away. I'm like, who do I need to call? Where do I need to go? Oh, do I need to go to the bank today? All right, let me send these wires out. I need to go do this and this and this and this. I got to talk to this person. Let me run over here and get this done. Because there is no such thing as work-life balance. And people that use work-life balance as a crutch, they don't realize their time factor. And this is the thing that made me realize that work-life balance is a myth. It is a myth. It's not a reality. It's a myth. All right. And this is what makes me wake up and work even harder. So everyone says, oh, I need to spend time with my family and my kids and yada, yada. So here's the example that one of my mentors gave me. So let's say you're a parent, right? Let's say you're a single mom, whatever. Because these are the ones that generally, say work-life balance. No offense to any single moms or whatever, but this is just it. So, single mom, she got little Johnny. She working 9 to 5. She wake up 6:30 in the morning. She get little Johnny up. She get little Johnny up at 7 because she had to get herself ready. She get little Johnny up at 7. She get the morning routine done, get him a little breakfast. They out the house by like 7:30 to get to daycare. Get to daycare by 8. She get into the office by like 8:30. So she didn't really have any uninterrupted time with little Johnny. That time was spent getting him ready and then getting him out the door. She get to work 8:30 or so. She hang out with some coworkers or whatever, laugh, this and that. Clock in 9 o'clock. She worked from 9 to 5. 5, she leave. She get to daycare 5:30. She pick up little Johnny. They laugh, whoop in the car. She give him his tablet. He shut the hell up. She get to the house at 6. It's already 6 p.m. She got to get little Johnny ready. So let's just say, boy, he's not school age. He's in daycare. So she got to get little Johnny, something to eat, this and that. She got to cook dinner. So she sit little Johnny down in front of the TV, or maybe she sit him in a chair in the kitchen. They laugh, talk, whatever. He's probably with his tablet, sippy cup, something. 6:30 roll around. They sit down. They have dinner. They eat. She clean up. 6:45, 7 o'clock. She got a nighttime routine. She get little Johnny in a bathtub, get him ready, get him in his jammies, hang out with him for a little bit. They might watch TV, play a little bit. He want to go do his own thing, whatever. Little Johnny's down in bed by 8:15, 8:30. How much time did you really spend? How much of that work-life balance did you really spend with your child? Uninterrupted time, maybe 2 hours total per day. The weekends, not so much either, unless you're taking them out to like Chuck E. Cheese or something. But you're catching up on chores, laundry, cleaning, dishes, whatever. People don't have that much uninterrupted time with their kids, but they use work-life balance as an excuse. It's a myth.
That's huge, man. That's huge because I picked up something from you from one of our conversations, maybe a month or so ago. And the thing is, once I heard you say that, I heard something else that kind of co-signed on it. And I read something in the book, The Way of the Superior Man, that confirmed again what you said. And I'll be honest, man, I'll be completely transparent. There was a point in my life, recently in my life, where I was trying to find that work-life balance. And what I understood, it was something you said, man, like us as men, and I understood that a lot of men understand we have to be mission-minded, but it's far more valuable. And I'll use myself as an example. It's far more valuable for my sons to see me out in the world getting it, whooping ass, not, moving mountains, conquering the world. It's much more important to him see me do that as opposed to him see me, hey, let's sit here and let's just talk about life for a minute. Those times are valuable, but he needs to see me in action. On the same token, even if a man has a wife wants that quality time, of course, but she wants your. And I'll say this a million years. A wife wants your priority to be, hey, I'm out conquering the world, and when I get done conquering, I'm gonna come home, shut down for an hour, 2 hours, and give you all of this time. But when a man tries to balance both, it ends up being he ends up accomplishing nothing. His family life starts to decline, and his performance in the world declines, man. So yeah, I'm glad you broke that down like that, man. So a lot of brothers,
we actually talked about that. We talked about that, with female, with women. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it was, I always say, but we talked about that. We'll get into that a little bit later. But we talked about that.
So you mentioned female. I definitely want to get into that because that's gonna be a good combo. But I want to ask you this. Like you talked about, I've seen in your Instagram shorts. Let me say this for anybody not subscribed to Reco's Instagram channel. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not saying this because he's on this channel. I've said this to brothers in the circle. Subscribe to his Instagram channel and watch his stories. He's giving away $1 million worth of game in his stories. Like it's almost, I'll be honest, but it's almost a violation that you're breaking things down as you are in your stories. I'm like, bro, you should be charging thousands for this information. It's life-altering information. So anybody not subscribed to his channel, definitely go subscribe to Roughneck Actual on Instagram. Tons of value. But I want to bring on something that I saw on your story, and your angle on it was different. You were talking about one of the hacks that you picked up from putting yourself in different vibrating networks. And you said one of the things that stands out in different cultures, different community, is they view marriage different. And in your IG story, you said, man, they've discovered that marriage is a hack. Can you elaborate on that, brother?
bro. So most people, when they think about marriage, it's it's almost like it's a ball and chain. Like, oh man, I can't be out in these streets and this and this and this and X, Y, and Z. In the black community, we don't view marriage the same as the white community.
Mhm.
And let me break this down,
Please
because
do.
once I seen this, I was like, you. So my guy B, he lives out here in Villanova. Wealthy guy, makes plenty of money, drives a
Mhm.
Lambo too. Cool dude.
Mhm.
So we got to talking one night. We were out, and he's like, "Yo, brother, yo, we gonna go to the casino, have a good time, blah blah blah." He's like, "Yo, it's not too late, right? Yo, is it okay with the missus?" He had no idea whether I was married or not,
Mhm.
but he instantly assumed, because since I'm rich,
Mhm.
I was married. I'm like, that don't make no type of sense. What? So
Mhm.
when I started sitting down with these guys who are wealthy and they're married and been married a long time, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I was like, yo, so when y'all was coming up, how was it? Because for me, it was frantic. Like, I got to this point, I was hectic getting here. They got to this level a few years after I did. Now, granted, they're a little bit older. It took them a few years longer than it took for me, but their time was so peaceful getting there, because their wives made sure everything was handled. They had meals cooked. They had, all their clothes done. They had all the chores handled. Little Johnny was able to get the football practice and karate and all this stuff. So their focus wasn't on all this other turmoil. Their sole focus was on providing for the family at the highest level.
Mm.
That right there, marriage is the biggest. Every single one of my wealthy friends, if they're worth 10 million or more,
Mhm.
every
Man,
single one of them, every
that's
single
heavy,
one.
man. That's heavy, and it brings me. That's heavy, and it brings me to the conversations that surround the red pill community, right? So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So would you consider what's being taught as masculine in the red pill community, or would you consider what's being taught, as far as, hey, brothers, go your own way, don't talk to them at all, or don't, the rhetoric in the red pill community? Would you consider that toxic masculinity? Do you think that's damaging the culture?
So I don't think masculinity is toxic. I think the message is toxic.
Mm.
And I will be honest, I subscribed to that for a while, because baby mom drama, all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, forget these women. I don't care about this and this. All they do is this and this and this. And the more I preached it, the worse my life got, because I was fighting a war that didn't need to be fought. Like, the rhetoric in the red pill space, where they're like, some of it's good, some of it is truth, some of it is true. I'd say about 60% of it is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But if you guys don't know successful, wealthy people who are married, you need to go find them, because your views on the red pill space and marriage will never be able to coexist ever.
Man,
Okay.
that's
Because I'm going to tell you guys, if you are what they consider high value, and it's not just money, right? It's the status. It's you being able to inflict your will on your surroundings. It's a lot of things. If you're high value, you can be married
Mhm.
and still enjoy your life. You can actually enjoy your life even more. And my friends who are wealthy, they enjoy life at a level that you can't possibly imagine. You
Mhm.
think you're having fun when you go to Miami and you spend like $3,000 in the club, bro. These dudes are spending 30 grand
Mhm.
like it's nothing, because they're gonna make it back tomorrow morning.
I
Different.
think definitely one hack of being of marriage, or two people coming together. Of course, the spiritual connection and all that stuff. You can, but like you said, a woman that's helping you, it does two things in my mind, and I'm thinking this as you were saying it. Like if a woman is at home and she's taking care of little Johnny, and she's taking care of the meals and all this stuff, where you can fully submerge yourself in your work and don't have to come in and come out, brother. That's game changing. That's getting, not only that, it eliminates that 30% of his energy that a man is putting toward pursuing other women. So it's almost like you being able to double your productivity, man. So I understand that. But I want to touch on, and I want to extend on that conversation, but I want to touch on something, because you said something real quick. you said there is no toxic masculinity. And the reason I want you to speak on that is because, you know, you're I've seen, like, the way you come across is you're unadulterated with your message sometimes. And the thing is, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. There are a lot of people that don't understand your message, and they'll get on your feed and saying, well, Rico, you're being a jerk and you're doing this. When you're really, you're just expressing yourself without any filters. So when you said there is no toxic masculinity, man, speak on why you say that and what that means, that there's no toxic masculinity.
So masculinity in itself isn't toxic. You know, wanting to be a man, wanting to provide, wanting to conquer, wanting to go out there and leave your mark on the world and be great. There's nothing toxic with that. There's absolutely nothing. The message that you portray, that is toxic. So if you're going out there calling, you know, women bitches and hoes all day, being rude, you know, assaulting them, that type of stuff, that's toxic. Not giving them the opportunity to express themselves in a way that makes sense, that's toxic. But masculinity in itself isn't toxic, the same way that femininity in itself isn't toxic. Now, some of the feminist movement, the message is toxic, but femininity is not toxic. The same as masculinity isn't toxic. It's a message that it's misconstrued all the time. You wanting to be a man, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I want to take care of my woman. I don't necessarily want her to work. Should a woman be able to work? Yeah, she should be able to take care of herself up until the point when she decides that she wants to take a step back, when she finds a capable partner. She could take a step back and let him lead. I'm not saying she got to stop working, because it's unrealistic for most people in America to live on one income. But even so, when I was married to my ex-wife, you know, I was an undergrad. We ended up getting married after I graduated and all that. But I still worked harder than she did. So when I got my job, I made more money than her as soon as I signed my first job offer. But I still worked harder to make sure that she didn't have to work as much. All right, I was out there hustling. I was flipping phones still, all this stuff that led to my e-commerce victories. I was still doing all that because, to me, I was in my masculine. Now, granted, you know, things in it, because I didn't fully understand what greatness meant, what a good man is supposed to be. I just knew that I'm masculine. I'm a man. I want to go do these things. I didn't know that there's a way to do them, right? But I did learn early that masculinity isn't toxic. It's the message that comes out of our mouths that is toxic.
I want, man, you said some nuggets in that last statement that I want to go down that road. I want to talk about a lot of things you hit on. But one thing before we go down that road, man, like, what do you think it is? I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier, as far as, because you said, you know, when you started your e-commerce business, and you going to work every day, corporate America, to transitioning. What would you think? What would you say the deciding factor or factors are to keep most men from bridging that gap? Like what I'm really saying is, you can get on the gram and see a lot of men that are saying, you know what, I'm about to get it. I'm doing this, or these are my future plans. But most men don't actually complete that. What would you say for the brothers that are watching? What would you say the 1, 2, maybe even 3 things that a man needs to implement in his life to take him from that working that job to making this $1 million e-commerce business?
You have to remove fear, because most people are afraid to leave. I was afraid to leave my job because guess what? I had benefits. I had health insurance, a comfortable 401k, which I drained when I left and put it all in my business, which was worth it. You know, you have all these benefits and perks, the work-life balance myth and all this stuff. So when you have a partner, when you have a wife or long-term girlfriend or whatever, even if you spinning plates, you're just juggling a bunch of girls or whatever, you're afraid to leave that comfort because you know what's coming. You know that paycheck coming. You know you just got to show up every day. That's it. You have to do that. That fear of the unknown is what keeps men from ever doing it. That, and if they're in a committed relationship, the fear of disappointment and the lack of faith from her to you. So you're already afraid to leave your job, and she's telling you, nah, baby, don't leave, because like this is uncertain. I need to be like, you need to take care of me. You promised to take care of me. So you have 2 different angles: your own fear, and then her fear of the unknown with you. So it's a clash. So dudes never leave their jobs. They stay comfortable because the devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't. And I stayed way too long at my job. I was making so much. My boss actually is the one that made me leave. So I was the only dude driving supercars to work every day. And he called me into his office. And I was divorced at this point, but whatever. He called me into his office. And mind you, I was only going to work like 2 days a week. I was like, yeah, bro, I'll show up like 2 days. It's cool. I just want to keep getting my benefits, the benefits, the whole comfortable thing. Call me to the office, like, yo, what do you want to do with your life? I was like, bro, I'm gonna go back, get my MBA. I'm gonna train the next generation of software engineers. I'm gonna be happy. He's like, no, bro, like, what do you really want to do? Because you driving cars my boss's boss ain't even got.
Wow.
Like, bro, like, whatever you're doing, you obviously doing real well with it. I'm like, yeah, I make some good money. It is what it is. And he's like, why don't you just go do that full time? He's like, what are you afraid of? I'm like, what am I afraid of? I was, let me think about that. I was like, no one's ever asked me that question. What am I afraid of? And it got me thinking, I'm afraid of losing this comfort, even though I'm making way more money than my job, bro. Like, I remember Navy. So, low known fact, Navy Federal, when you have all these transactions in your account, you can only have so many per month before it blanks out the online app. It just says you got to call Navy Federal so you can review your transactions. Bro, I was like, I looked, I was like, yo, I don't have any transactions coming in for that much money, for that little amount. Like, what is this? I called Navy Federal. They was like, oh, that's your paycheck from Lockheed Martin. I'm like, yo, I'm still getting paid. I was making so much money, I didn't even know my own paycheck amount. But I didn't care.
That says a lot about conditioning, bro. You would put yourself in a position where you were making more than pretty much everybody at work. You pulling up in a supercar, and you still feel like you said that fear, even though you were winning on the other side, you still had that fear, man. So that shows a lot about how strong condition it is, man. How strong condition it is as far as holding us back, brother. That's huge, man. So I want to go. You said a few things about surrounding relationships and women. I want to go down that road, bro. I want to have those conversations. I want to have those conversations that are hard to have, man. As far as who should be paying the bills, what a submissive woman looks like, what a man of purpose needs in his life. I want to take that after commercial break, brothers. Yeah. So let me plug in real quick. Power Circle. Reco just enforced the power of your network. Your network is your net worth. Raise your levels of conscience, man. Become part of the Power Circle. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
He gives actual quotes that you probably never even heard before. He said that Henry Ford was aware of it. All of them were aware of it. This is the secret inner teachings that that Napoleon Hill was not necessarily able to give out. This is one of the things that's missing from the secret. You are actually a broadcast tower that's broadcasting energy into the universe. And you wonder why you get the results you get and the people show up in your life, because it's what you're broadcasting.
The thing, it took me the longest out, when things weren't going my way, I was like, you know what? There's something I'm not doing. And I was trying to figure out what that thing was. I would go to these books and say, you know what am I not doing? What do these people know that I don't know? What do I see people that are succeeding? Like, what do they know that I don't know? All right, brother, for y'all just now chiming in, we have brother Reco Jefferson with us. Very successful, a brother that I would consider a mogul in the game, right? And if somebody asked about his Instagram handle, follow him at Roughneck Action.
Yeah, Stacks put it in there. Yeah.
Okay,
Stacks, appreciate you, my guy.
Perfect, brother. So I wanted to go down this path, brother. I wanted to go down this path of relationships because it has a very lot of input toward a man's success. And I'll say this, and I've said this before. Like, I really didn't understand a woman's role in a man's life really up until the last 5 years of my life, five or so years of my life. Because up until I was 40, which I should have known this way before, I thought that relationships were about, hey, you know what? I love this woman. Let me just, join forces with this woman and build life and be happy and live life together. But as I began to tap into my purpose, as my purpose became my priority and it became my everything, then I could turn around and actually see a position in my life for a wife. You know what I mean? I could actually see a woman come into my life being a helpmate. And for every brother, it's gonna look different. It could look like somebody coming in to support a business structure. It could be a woman coming in and taking care of the kids and making sure the meals. It could look different for every man. But how important is it that a man finds first his purpose before he brings a woman to his life first? What do you think about that, man?
So this is another thing my mentor Carmelo taught me. This guy right here, he kept me in college, which helped me make all this money. So he said you can either get rich, or he said you could try to get rich, or you can try to fall in love, but you can't do both at the same time. Now you can already be rich, or you can already be in love, but you're not going to do both at the same damn time. And I tried my hardest, okay? I tried my hardest to dispute this and be like, nah, bro, I can do both. They both require so much time and effort that you have to pick. Now, if you're already in love and you got your partner, she's going to support you on this journey. She's the right partner for you. She will support you on this journey. If you're already rich, bro, you got it easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel some days. Like you just jump in a Lambo, drive down the street, and everybody's like, oh, what's your name? How you doing? You can focus on falling in love in that point because you already have the means to provide. You already have the means to protect financially. And contrary to popular belief, everyone who's like, oh yeah, having money doesn't matter. It's money is just whatever. Money is a byproduct of your discipline and your mindset. So if you're making a lot of money, that means you have the mindset, you have the mental fortitude to take care of everyone in your circle. Period. That means you could take care of your partner. You could take care of everyone. All right. So don't believe the hype where it's like, oh, you could do both at the same time. No, that shit don't work.
That's huge, man. That's huge. So you know, I think, and I use the word advantage. I think there is an advantage of a man before he actually hits that success of having a woman. Maybe I can see it being a handicap. But my question is, like once you get the bag, once you make the millions, and now a woman comes into your life. How do you personally, how do you decipher if that woman is fit for the team? Because now everybody is coming. All women are coming. How do you say, you know what, you're the right one, and you're here for the wrong reasons?
All right. It's super easy. It's usually the conversations that you have. So this right here, men, and this is specifically for the men. If you want to know if a woman is all about you, it is so telling. It's the easiest thing in the world, right? Have her around your friends. Have a conversation with your friends. If she genuinely is focused on you as a person, her sole focus, her gaze is going to be on you the whole time. If you're speaking, she's going to be looking at you. She ain't going to be looking at the other dude. You know, she's going to look at you. And if that dude asks her a question, she's going to look at you again for the approval to engage in that conversation. If she's all about you, she is going to be focused on you no matter where you are. But the easiest way to dictate that is to get her away from the solo environment. Like, oh, it's just me and you together, this and that. But hey, girl, I got to go meet up with a friend real quick, a business associate, whatever. We just have to have a quick conversation. If she's sitting on her phone the whole time doing this, just bored, she's not the partner that's going to be there to support you. The partner that's going to support you is the one that's fixated on you. She's trying to figure out what you're about, what you're talking about, and how she can help you in whatever you're talking about. Simple as that. It is the easiest way to tell.
That's heavy. And the thing is, let me give you a shot for that one, brother. That's heavy. And as you were saying that, I was thinking back to, back when I was in a lower vibrational state and I had certain women, in my life that were that first woman you talked about that regardless, they were somewhere else. Or if they were in the environment of me amongst my brothers, it was an unfavorable demeanor. But the first time I tasted that, a woman giving you reverence, right? It's game changing, bro. And it's like, bro, I would never accept anything less than that, man. So what you said is valuable, man. What you said is valuable. You said something, man, a second ago that I really want to dive into, and it was about a man being in position to take care of his family, take care of the wife, make sure that everything, like I'm quarterbacking this. Everybody is good. I'm holding everybody down. What do you think about the dynamics about in relationships when a woman is paying half of the bills and they're in a partnership, do you think that diminishes the relationship or diminishes a woman's femininity or diminishes what a man can receive from a woman when she's in a 50-50 type ordeal?
This is going to be one of them controversial takes anyway, but I've lived it. All right. I have lived this. All right. This is coming from a man who worked a typical 9 to 5. And my ex-wife, she did the same thing. Now, granted, she has a PhD now and super intelligent and all that. Actually a great mother, all this phenomenal. We were essentially roommates. If you're doing 50-50, you're essentially a roommate, right? So imagine she's working 50 hours a week. You're working 50 hours a week. Is she really going to want to come home and cook and clean and all this and be happy to do that? Now, will she do it? Perhaps. But it's going to be begrudgingly. She's not going to be happy with it. It's almost a roommate situation. There's almost no leadership, right? Because you guys are both splitting the bills, you're splitting chores, you're splitting this and this and this. She can't trust you to take that next step to lead. So case in point, and some people are like, oh, that's not true. Me and my chick, we go 50-50 all the time, this and this and this and this. Okay. So what happens when she has a baby and she has to leave work? What happens? She's not making that income. I mean, if she's working at a job that does not provide enough maternity leave, guess what she has to do? She got to go back to work. She don't want to go back to work. She wants to spend time with that baby. I've never met a woman in my entire life that wants to go back to work with a newborn. Never. I've never. And I run a whole OnlyFans agency, by the way, with dozens of females in there. Not a single one would want to leave that child. Okay. If you guys are going 50-50 on the bills, your lifestyle is going to be affected.
That's huge, bro. And I want to play this clip real quick, brothers.
Guys, so you know how I tell you that you need to get your shit together and you need to make more money, just be better and all these things? Well, these girls essentially feel the same fucking way that I do, all right? So we were sitting down talking, and these girls, mind you, they make more money than you do by a whole lot, like tens of thousands of dollars a month in some cases. And their thing was, hey, we would be willing to take a back seat to a man that could provide. Not necessarily, he doesn't have to be rich, he doesn't have to buy him G-Wagons and shit, but be able to provide some form of stability financially, mentally, and emotionally. This is straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Guys, these chicks would be willing to bow down, not necessarily bow down, that's a bad term, but to acquiesce and be a partner if they could trust that your do the damn job. They give up their careers essentially where they're making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in order to have a happy fucking home. All right. A happy home. It's not always about them being boss babes making tons of money. A lot of them, and I'd say 9 out of 10 of them, because we were talking, they would be willing to take the back seat if they could have a family and enjoy life and not have to worry about making all the fucking money because they couldn't depend on us. Guys, get your shit together, bro.
You know what? I want to say this, brother. And again, y'all, that came off of his Instagram story, always dropping gems. I want to say this. I think because when a man makes a statement like, hey, you know what? I believe a man should support a woman and pay all the bills. I'll say this. A lot of men come up in uproar because they're like, hey, no, it's going to end up like this and a woman's going to use you. And I can't say I haven't been there. I'll say this. There was a point in my life where like when I was married, man, in my 20s, me and my wife were partners. We were 50-50. I was 21 years old. I didn't know anything different. But looking back, I can see where that diminished things over time. Like it almost ripped a lot of my leadership off, even if it was both on a subconscious level, man. And I'll say this. Most men probably feel that way in this area because of what they saw growing up. I can easily say that, like my mom was what will be considered now a boss chick, a business owner, very successful. At the same time, my father was too. I don't know who was paying the bills, but I just assumed it was a mesh of let's put our money together and grow. So that was my norm. That was my agreement. So I think when a lot of men hear that they say, you know what, that's not right. I'm going to be taken advantage of. But I'll say this. Once I just started moving different and put myself in position where, you know what, if a woman comes into my life, like Like, what are you asking about bills for? Like, I'm taking, like, if you come into my kingdom is already established. You ain't finna be paying no bills. Once I got in a position to do that, I noticed that it put women in a much more feminine energy, much more by default. So I think a lot of men don't understand, like, the conversation not had enough that when a woman is your partner, and it might not mean like she's paying 50-50, but you know, she might want to contribute a lot. But if a woman is in position where she knows that, you know what, if I leave this man's life, his world is going to come crumbling down, but there's no stability there. Like you say, she can't really trust you, man. So I think it's important that that's established, man. So let me ask you this: as a man that's supporting his household, what should a man expect, or what does Reco expect if he's paying all the bills? What do you expect from a woman? How can she be a proper helpmate, rather?
Yeah, another controversial take, you know, and I'm not saying that every woman doesn't have to work, right? Because again, that's unrealistic, but it shouldn't ever really be 50-50. As a man, you should strive to do more of the heavy lifting, whether that's 70-30, 80-20, 60-40, whatever. Just, you know, try to be like, you know what? I don't necessarily need you working 50 hours a week. I'll work more so you can work 35 hours a week, because she's going to acquiesce. She's going to be more receptive to your leadership. She's gonna be like, oh, yo, my man, yo, that's a man. He gonna take care of me. She's gonna trust you more. So when it comes to me, again, controversial take. It's not about what you have to do for me. It's about what you have to do for yourself. My woman should focus on what makes her most happy. It's not about, yo, you need to cook, you need to clean, you need to do this, and because that's going to come. That's going to be part of the agreement. Because it's like, girl, what are you doing here? Like, how much money do you make? And I had this conversation with a chick before. She's like, oh, I make, $70K a year. I was like, girl, I make that in like 2 days, some weeks. Like, that's cute. Yeah. Like, chill. But it was more or less just, just to get her to understand, like, you don't need to provide financially. So no woman needs to provide financially. They can provide in other ways, but ultimately it's whatever she's most happy doing, whatever she sees as her purpose. Because if she finds her purpose of being, she's an asset to me, because she's going to live in her particular purpose, whether that's being a housewife, who knows, whether it's, training horses, whatever. If she's happy, she's going to be more ready to acquiesce my needs. All right. She's going to be like, you know what? This man is providing me the opportunity to pick and choose whatever it is I want to be. So I'm going to try to make his life as happy as I can so I can continue to live on my purpose. It should never be, I have all the money, you need to do this. It should never be that, because now you're a dictator. You don't want to be a dictator. And this is where that toxic masculinity comes from in the red pill community, because it's, I'm going to tell this chick, she's going to have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And No. She should be free to pick and choose whatever it is that she wants to be, whatever she feels would fulfill her to help her be a better partner. Because if she's happy doing that, I 100% promise you, gentlemen, and this is straight from like my life, she will do whatever it takes to keep you happy. Because if you're happy and she's supporting you, you're going to make sure she can keep doing whatever she wants to do. The hardest decision my chick would ever have to make in life would be, what do you want to wear to hot yoga today? What style of horse do you want? You want an Arabian snare horse, whatever it is? What car do you want to drive today? Those are the hardest decisions that she would ever have to make.
I think, not even I think, I know for a fact that even the majority of women that live this boss type life, even going back to the clip that I played where you were saying, hey, you know what, these ladies are making $20,000-$30,000 a month, but they would much rather be have some man to support, even if it takes taking a pay cut, as long as he can provide stability. You said 9 out of 10 of them felt like that. So I think a lot of men just need to this is the thing. I believe a lot of men are intimidated by women that move in a certain energy, that own businesses, but they don't understand, man. If you walk in your if you walk in your masculinity, those women are desiring men like that. But it takes a man first knowing who he is and really pouring concrete around his mission, man. That's huge, brother. That's huge. And really, you have a completely different take on relationship. You said a few things that were aha to me, man, that make sense. You know, the term happy wife, happy life has taken on a meaning of something else. It's taken on a meaning of you know, I bow down to you, you be happy. But when you come from a state of being a bit of winning, it comes up. It's like, let's everybody be happy. Like yes, I make the bread, but as long as you're in a good vibration, as long as you aren't being forced to be in your masculinity, and you can be this ball of love, now I benefit from that. So now that I'm winning, now that you're helping me win, let me make sure you're good. You're doing the things that you enjoy doing, brother. So that's huge, man. Brother Ivy said this live is a diamond mine. Again, if y'all aren't
I'm
following,
trying, bro, trying.
yeah, if y'all aren't following Brother Reco on IG at Roughneck Actual, brother, he's dropping gems daily. He's dropping gems on real estate. He's dropping gems on relationships. He's dropping gems on how to even purchase vehicles and avoid paying taxes. I mean, so many loopholes, man. It almost seems like if a person isn't in tune, they're really just listening to your content, man, and let it breeze in and breeze out, man. Brother Reco, man, I want to say thank you, man, for carving out time today. I know both
Always,
of our
bro.
schedules are you know, they're full, and I've been trying to get this going for a long time. Everything plays out when it's supposed to play out. I want to say thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart for carving out a solid hour to share it with me, to share it with my subscribers. I can easily say this: you blessed some people. You probably planted some seeds that's going to change a lot of minds, because I think that one thing when it comes to elevating in life, whether it's coming to leaving your job and starting your own thing, you said fear. Fear is huge, man. Fear, you know, coming out of that old conditioning is huge. That same energy translates over to relationships. A lot of men kind of on a subconscious level know what you're saying. And, you know, when you say it, it probably resonates like it did with me. But there is still that fear of, you know what, I've been hearing this red pill information for so long that now it's my new truth. How do I get from, you know, so it's about, I always say it's about knowing self, man, knowing self and walking in your I am, but it changes everything. So again, brother, I want to say thank you for joining. But before we exit, man, I want to ask you two questions, man. First off, where can they find you? Is there anything they can support from Brother Reco?
Yeah, bro. Like you said, you can hit me up on Instagram, man. Roughneck_actual, you know, ROUGHNECK_actual. Or you can hit me up on YouTube, man. The Roughnecks Ecom channel. Like, I don't really post as much as I should because I'm busy making money at this stage. I shoot a bunch of ads. But, you know, I do try to shoot long form content. You know, we got the videographer out. And so all the videos are really, really high quality because I want you guys to have the best opportunity for success. You know, so that's how you can connect with me there. I'm usually really active on Instagram though. Like if you DM me, it's not my assistant hitting you up. Like it's actually me. If you get a response, I'm the one responding to you. So, you know, that's probably the spot that, you know, you can hit me up the most. I mean, unless you like, you know, my brother Soul over here, he could like text me directly, you know.
Like, bro, how do I move in this situation? Give me that game, man. Yeah, you always give me game, bro. Like I say, man, you've given me enough game. My 2023 is going to be completely different. Strictly off of 1, 2, 3 conversations I had with you, bro. It just opened up chambers in my mind. Like, okay, now I see how he's having, you know, 6-figure months or 20. You know, it makes sense now. But it's just a matter of hearing someone speak from that place, man. And one thing I got to give you your props, bro. I love the fact that you're such a giving brother. Like you, on your channel, man, you give so much game and you're coming from such an authentic place, man. It's rare that you see that, because a lot of times once a person gets to where they're making 100,000 per month, 100,000 per year, they separate from the past. Here you are having $1 million months, but you're still firing up your camera, getting on Instagram saying, brothers, this is how I did it. This is how I do it on a daily basis. These are the moves. So, brother, I want to applaud you for doing that, man. But I want to close out by asking you 2 questions, man. One is, what is Reco Jefferson's purpose? And when I ask you that, what I'm really asking is, whether you're accomplishing a lot. We didn't even scratch the surface on really what you do, like the amount of money you have tied up in real estate. the millions you make on Amazon. I'm sure a lot of people recognize your face from being the Amazon guy for so long.
Yeah.
That's how I put you, the Amazon guy.
Yeah.
The money you make in your OnlyFans agency, brother. Like you're accomplishing so much, and you really yet to scratch the surface. But once you're 100 years old, 120 years old, man, and it's time for Reco to transition to the other side, what would you say Rico's purpose was, or what do you want to leave society once you're gone, brother?
Bro, to show that greatness is achievable no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, anyone can achieve it. Not everyone's gonna achieve it, but anyone can achieve it. And that's my purpose. Like, I didn't know that when I was married. I thought my purpose was to make all this money and be happy and all that. That's not it. Making money is a byproduct of living in your purpose. The more you live in your purpose, the more money you make. So the harder I tried to make money, the less money I actually made. But when I started living in my purpose and started, showcasing like, yo, this is how you do it. This is what I'm doing. You make these moves. I started making even more money. It was almost like I couldn't lose. Like, I was literally just sitting around, making money. Just like, oh, okay, we made, $30,000 today. Well, cool.
So that's something you said, something I've never heard. You said the harder I try to make money, the less I made. What do you mean by that? That's heavy, bro.
So people get fixated on this whole numbers thing, on how much money they make. And they're constantly like, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I need to make more money. That's not the case. You need to add more value. So something that I learned from a really wealthy, friend of mine, Carmelo, a good mentor, and it was, you'll never make more money than your current skill set allows. Ever. So if you're not making the money you want to make, you need to level up that skill set. And it doesn't matter what it's in. Whatever you're lacking, you got to find it, and you have to build that skill set, or find someone with that skill set to help you achieve that. But the harder you sit there and you're like, I need to make this money, I need to make this money, I need to make this money, you're not going to make it, because your skill set just can't do it. Right? So you got to go back to the drawing board. And then once you get that skill set, and once you have the focus, you have the drive, then you start making more money. I couldn't have $1 million months because I didn't know exactly what I needed, but I was frustrated. I would spend more money on ads. I was just throwing thousands of dollars a day on ads. Like, this is going to solve my problem. It didn't solve my problem. It didn't solve my problem at all. It created more problems because the pieces that I had couldn't even support the stuff I was doing before I started throwing more money at ads. So I actually made less money. Like, literally, imagine, going from like 250,000 a month, 300,000 a month. You're like, yo, I'm doing pretty good. Imagine going down to like 75K, 100K. You lose like a third of your income, like actually 2/3 of your income. And you're like, yo, I'm doing everything right. You sweating, because I was trying to make more money than my current skill set could allow. So I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to get more skilled. I had to find people with the skills that I needed. It's not just making that money, people. It's your current skill set is going to be the deciding factor on how much money you can make.
That's huge. That's huge, brother. Skill set is everything, man. That like, we get applause on that one, brother. That was heavy, man. Skill set. So my last question is, brother, the amount of people you've reached out and impacted, right? The amount of people you've been able to bring in on your team, as far as showing them how to do Amazon, showing them how to start their own agency. The amount of women you've brought in and showed them how to change their lives and get financial gain. Along with that, you've been introduced to a lot of high profile people, a lot of people that vibrate high for on different levels, right? But I want to ask you, and my last question is, what person, whether dead or still alive, has had the most impact on Reco Jefferson becoming the man he is today?
Easy. My college professor, Joe Oakes. All right. So most people know I went to college. So this man, he's a short, bald, surfer type bro, man. He rides, mountain bikes and stuff. Cool dude, man. Cool dude. He's actually a Muslim. He met his wife and converted. Cool dude. So I transferred into Penn State from Drexel. You know, I didn't like the city campus. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to Penn State. You know, it's out there. You know, kind of woodsy. You know, I just want to want that vibe. I transferred in so late, I couldn't get into the courses that I needed because my goal was to start fresh, graduate in 2 years. So finish a 4-year degree in 2 years. I actually finished in 2.5. You know, whatever. But I needed this one specific 100-level course. And because Drexel is on a trimester system and a lot of their credits don't transfer because most schools are semesters. All right. So backstory. And I'm talking to the advisor and I'm sitting here, I'm fresh out the military. My oldest daughter hadn't been born yet. My mom's still pregnant. So I got a new baby coming. I'm a single dad to my son. You know, at this point, he's like 4 or 5 years old. Struggling, man. I'm getting unemployment because you get an honorable discharge, you get some unemployment. So they're like, yo, you can't get in this course. It's full up. You're screwed. Maybe you can find, Professor Oaks and he can help you. And I'm like, man, where is this guy? Like, they was like, I don't know. He's around campus today, whatever. And I kid you not. And this was Providence. Okay. This was everything, the universe aligning, whatever you want to call it, that God energy coming, the man himself showing me a way. Professor Oaks happened to be walking as I walked out of the office, out of the academic advisory office. And I happened to say, like, yo, I was like, yo, you Professor Oaks? He's like, yeah, it's me. So I'm like, look, you don't know me from anybody. I was like, but my name is Reco. I'm transferring in from Drexel. Look, I got a son that I'm trying to take care of. I'm fresh out the military pretty much. I got a little baby on the way. I was like, bro, if you just bless me, if you just put me in this one class, I will be out of your hair in 2 years. Like you'll never hear from me again. I just need you to put me in this one class. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you said you're gonna graduate in 2 years? I ain't never heard nobody say that before. Mm-hmm. Yo, show up on Monday. I'll put you in. And this man, I did everything I could to make sure that I made good on that promise. Mm-hmm. And he took me under his wing and he put me in every course. So by the time my natural freshman year was over, I was already a junior by credits.
Oh, dang.
Because he became my advisor. So he bumped all my prereqs. So I was like, we good. He put me in all the courses I needed. He introduced me to everyone for my internships. He helped me get my job offers. Bro, this man, I owe every bit of success to. And without him, there would be no Reco Jefferson.
Wow.
I would have went back to the military.
Shout out to the professor, man. Shout out to the professor.
This man, he could do no wrong in my eyes. And I haven't gone back and seen him in a couple of years. I've been so busy working, but I'm going to go back probably, like maybe next week. I'm going to just surprise him. And, because I just dropped by, like, yo, what's up, Joe, man? Good to see you and all that. And this man right here, like, he's probably the most instrumental person in my life as far as, getting through it and being successful. Like this dude.
He could do no wrong.
He could do no wrong. Like this man, I can honestly say saved my life. And I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, man. Applies to that, brother, man. I do have a third question, man. And it's just, is there anything, for the people that are on here, man, they're looking at you and they're saying, you know what, this brother has tapped in. Not only is this man, tied into his spiritual side, he's putting action to it and he's produced a thing and is continuing to produce a thing. What's the one thing you would leave the people that are watching right now that they should, that they should consider, that they should think about, that they should focus on to take them out of the trance of stagnation and to get them to make that first 50,000, first 100,000, that first million, maybe even $1 million a month? What's the one thing you would tell them to, once you get off this call tonight, they should just sit down and think about?
Simple. Oh, Strabo, is it real? Let me answer this guy's question because he posted, is this realistic to a man make less than a woman? If you want to be a roommate, sure. Yeah. If you want to be a roommate and have her not really respect you, sure. And no woman, and this is like the height question. All right. So this is how you test this freaking theory that women throw out there all the time. They're like, oh, I'll date a short guy. Really? When was the last time you dated a man shorter? When was the last time you married a man shorter than you? Oh, it never happened, did it? Okay. When was the last time you married a man who made significantly less money than you? I'd say maybe 2 out of 10 will say, I did. I'm like, are you still married to him? No. Exactly. So that answers that question. So just, no, don't do it.
Interesting. I'm glad you picked that up, man.
Yeah, don't do that shit. Now, now when it comes to what you guys should be focused on, you know, the one piece of advice that I can give you that will change everything for you is don't listen to all these, you know, these motherfuckers telling you, oh, do marketing and do this and do this and this and this. Do what you're good at. Find what you're good at, because if you find what you're good at, you can always make money with it. There's going to be somebody that is willing to pay a stupid amount of money for whatever it is. Case in point, my daughter's birthday party is tomorrow. That shit, there's a $400 cake in there. Fucking $400 cake. Who spends $400 on a motherfucking cake?
Yeah.
There's a $400 cake in there. If you can bake, there's some lazy motherfucker like me who can't bake, who's willing to spend whatever it is. If I want a rainbow unicorn cake, I'm like, baby, what? It's $400. Don't matter. Someone's gonna pay. There will be someone who pays, as long as you can market yourself and offer something in the space at a price point that people can afford, or at least your target audience can afford. Do what you're good at. That will always lead to success. I did what I was good at. I was good at tech. That's why I became a software engineer, worked at Vanguard, Lockheed. If you guys use a Vanguard app, me and my team wrote the first iteration of that, and they've just been reiterating ever since. So did what I was good at. And that's how I started making money. And then I dumped it into other things that I was good at. That's what you should focus on. Focus on what you're good at. If you are unsure what path you're supposed to be on, you have been blessed with a unique skill set, with a unique talent that most other people don't have. I'm good at selling shit on the internet. Most people couldn't do it. You're probably good at something. Do that, because what you're good at, I'm probably not good at. And you're going to be way more successful with it, and you'll be happier doing it. Because when you do what you're good at, you're happy doing it. You're not going to go to work miserable. You're not going to build a business and be miserable. You're not going to be with your husband or your wife or your kids and be miserable. You're going to be happy, real happy.
Man,
I promise you, I'm happier than I've ever been, because I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm in my purpose.
Valuable information, brother. And I appreciate you chiming in tonight, man. Thanks for everything, man.
It's been long overdue, brother.
Yeah.
We've been trying.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna have to do it again. We got. Yeah, this was very informative, brother. Let's give it up warm at ease in the comment for brother Reco Jefferson. Appreciate you chiming in, brother. Appreciate it, brother. Hey, in closing, man. In closing, I want to say this. Brother Reco hit on some valuable notes, man, as far as the way we operate in our current jobs, the way we see relationships. If I were to take one thing away from what he said, man, is to go within and overcome fear, man. To overcome fear. Not only overcome fear, man, but to identify those old limitations. Identify those caps that were put on us from youth, that were put on us from our friends and family, those caps that were put on us from the school system. And just move past those through faith and action, brothers. I want to thank y'all for joining tonight, man. And again, please go subscribe to Brother Reco's channel. Like the information he's given tonight is only a fragment of what he gives on a daily basis almost on his page, man. I want to thank y'all for chiming in tonight. I want to thank for all y'all that commented. I want to thank all those that gave super chats. It means the world to me, brothers. Having said that, I'm Soul Immortal, and I'm out.